everyone, welcome back to the Colour Cave where we like to play with art stuff. My name is Jem and today we have an Upcrate to unbox. Upcrate is the monthly subscription art box from Germany, and once again I'm surprised to see this because I didn't get a shipping notification this month. Still, so today we're going to look at the contents of the box, but we're also going to go for the Upcrate battle as well. We alternate these month by month with the scroller challenge so that each box gets the chance to have its own slot for a dedicated artwork. So let's get cracked in and see what is going on. Now, we saw quite a few changes in the Upcrate last month, including the actual outside of the box itself. So now that we know what to expect, I'm interested to see what is going on. Ooh! And straight away I'm surprised once again. The first thing in the box here, it looks like an advent calendar, and it's got a ship of some description on it. Obviously. Happy season's greetings from Captain Crate. And it's actually a greetings card. That is so cool. I kind of want to open the doors, but by the same token I might actually write something in it and give it to someone, but that is very, very cool. I actually really like the picture as well. There's quite a lot of detail in it. There's a little guy climbing the rigging here as well. Yeah, I take back everything I just said. Next. Now, they have also gone for this zine format that Scrawlrbox recently changed to. Well, I'll say recently, like this year. And here is the battle post, so that's going to provide us information on our supplies and lots of other things as well, but we're going to leave that till the end because I just like to have a surprise and look at the supplies. Okay, so here is a little, oh no, really, no. This is a promotional card and it's for Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pens Calligraphy Studio Box. Now, this may be an indicator of what's in the box, and if it is, I'm going to be sad because we've just had some calligraphy style pens in the scroller box recently. This is promotional code so that you can get some money off. We've got our little sheet of stickers here. Oh, this is adorable. Oh, this is so cute. I like that they've got the stickers all in one sheet now. That's that makes me really happy because I just felt they were like, when they had the envelope there was just loads of stuff in it and I just felt as if I was like wading through bits of paper. So this is much more economical, and the stickers are a better size as well, I feel. So this is our featured artist. Wario's one is the co-captain. That is some stunning lettering though, that really, really is. It's very calligraphical, but it's also very street art as well. You can see there's quite a lot on walls and buildings and things. That's pretty cool. I'm a graffiti and calligraphy artist from Rome. They're taken straight from his Instagram as well. Interesting. He's got a website too. You can check out his website. I see a writing surface or a drawing surface. Art Space Fine Arts Sonic Wall. 20 sheets of bleed-proof paper. Never worry about ink bleeding through to the other side. I'm always curious about bleed-proof paper. I have one that I like to use a lot and I can't remember the name of it now. Not that I use ink very often, so this will be quite interesting. It is 210 GSM. That's quite heavy for a marker paper. Marker papers do come in different weights, but they don't need to be thick unless they're using it for soak-up values for the actual ink. So I'm quite curious about this. And we've also got 15% off everything in the shop at Art Space as well. It's quite smooth. There is a little bit of texture there, and yeah, it's fairly thick as well. I also really like this pad because it's perforated, so you can tear off your sheets and you're not having to poke about with these, taking off these little tabs from where the ring binding's gone through. So that's pretty good. And I would say that's fairly generous. 20 sheets is pretty good. Okay, so let's just meet my doom now. I'll get this out of the way. There is a pencil. Okay, a gold Faber HB pencil. I quite like the gold Faber pencils. I don't have a lot of these. I've got an odd one kicking about, and I did enjoy using the gold Faber coloured pencils as well. Faber-Castell stuff's always really good quality, so I'm quite happy to have one of these in my repertoire. An Artline Supreme Calligraphy Pen, 5.0, pigment ink, water-based and water-resistant for lettering, card writing, signatures and sketching. And as suspected, there is a chisel nib on it, and it's not dissimilar to the ones that, what were they called? I can't remember what they were called. They had like flexi nibs on them though. This looks quite similar, although maybe not as flexible. Oh wow, Artline High Performance Xylene Free Felt Tip Permanent Marker. And I've seen these before, and these are used quite often in bigger things, obviously. Wait till you see the size of the nib in this bad boy. Whoa! It's a beastie. If you're going to do, I'll just refer back to the featured artist, if you're going to do something like this, you could maybe use this. I feel this is incredibly disproportionate to the size of the work surface that we have been given, and it absolutely stinks to high heaven, and I really, really don't like chemically smells like that, and those Artline markers are the pits for that. Okay, we've got a 1.0, this is an Artline one, so this is the same brand as the one before, but it's got a smaller nib on it, and this one's in red. That's more like a fine liner. I don't know why they're touting that as a calligraphy pen, unless that has got a chisel nib, and I just can't see it because it's that tiny, which there's a possibility of that. It looks really, I think it is actually a chisel nib. Right, we'll have to test that out. And, oh goodness me. Okay, we've got another Artline 90, so this is also a chisel nib permanent marker that's a little bit smaller. And I would say that's more proportionate to the size of paper we've got. That would make a lot more sense. Yep, there we go, much better. And lo and behold, the last item in the box, move this out of the way again, is the Faber-Castell calligraphy set of Pitt Artist pens. These pens, I've used Pitt pens before, but not the calligraphy ones for obvious reasons. And the Pitt pens are quite nice, but I just didn't, I mean, they were okay, I just never really saw what all the fuss was about, because they're quite expensive as well. So these have all got a C for calligraphy on the caps. And it looks like we've got a selection of colours here. We've got a white one. This looks like a, oh, sanguine, there we go. This is Indanthrene blue, black, and as I said, white. Okay, so we've got quite a range of supplies here. I'm almost at like a hard pass already for the Upcrate battle. I'm going to be honest. This is not my idea of fun. And even if I wasn't to do some calligraphy, I'm not really entirely sure what I'll do with these supplies. But let's have a wee look through our battle post and see what is in here. Right, so basically the message from Captain Crate is saying that he's given you everything to make Christmas cards. Faber-Castell have combined all the advantages of artist inks in a modern, uncomplicated drawing pen, the Pitt Artist Pen. The pigment's highly light, fast drawing ink is ideal for creating sketches, drawing layouts, fashion drawings and illustrations. On top of that, the ink is waterproof, permanent, odourless, acid-free and does not bleed through the paper. That seems like a very generic description for the normal Pitt pens, not specific to the calligraphy pens. You can see there's some really nice examples here though of putting those nibs to good use. Now this is one of the reasons why I don't like it. See, messing about putting all your lines and everything in, because you're supposed to have, you know, you're supposed to rule out all your sections. I can't be bothered with stuff like that. It's funny how I've got patience for things like coloured pencils, but I've got zero patience for stuff like this. The right layout plays an important role in calligraphy. Centred texts are particularly appealing. Make sure the lower edge is wider than the other edges. The top and side should be roughly the same width. If you choose watercolour paper or cardboard, you'll have to transfer the guidelines onto the paper. Well, yeah, that kind of makes sense. The Gold Faber Graphite pencil is impressive. Has impressive writing and mark making properties. Hexagonal shape and break resistant lead turns it into the ideal companion for drawing and sketching on the go and young artists. I don't know why that makes them special, but okay. Your version comes in the hardness HB, which means it can be easily erased if you don't press down too hard while drawing. It's a pencil. Okay, here we go, the Stinky Markers. Your new permanent markers come in standard and a giant version. Both of them possess a chisel nib and come with instantly drying waterproof ink. Oh, waterproof, okay. They're suitable to use on paper as well as cartons, crates, glass, porcelain, plastic, metal, rubber and more. Make sure not to shake these markers or get any ink on you as it stains your clothes forever. Okay, so it really is permanent. The calligraphy pens are ideal for a variety of lettering. High performance water-based pigment ink is fade and water and smudge resistant. Acid-free substance does not bleed through most paper types. Depending on the angle you're holding the pen at while writing, the chisel style tip creates a wide range of line thicknesses that effortlessly provides the signature look to your calligraphy. Talking about the paper, it's revolutionary paper. See, when I see words like that, I'm just like, oh, really? Really? It's marker paper, calm yourself. You never have to worry about ink bleeding through to the other side, no matter how many layers of ink you apply. I feel a challenge coming on. Suitable for any medium from alcohol-based markers to acrylics, thickness prevents it from buckling or bending. You can make the most of your 20 sheets of paper by using their backs as well, so we can use both sides. That's quite interesting. The little advent calendar. Oh, this is so cute. The name Panopticon is a word creation from paper and panopticon because this company sees itself as a kind of cabinet for curiosities for special paper products. Examples from the times are grandparents and great-grandparents. As your new fantastic advent calendar shows off, the Panopticon places particular emphasis on nostalgic items in the Victorian and steampunk styles. Okay, so this is talking about Storzenbeker, or Klaus Stortebeker, was reputed to be the leader of a group of privateers who were originally hired during a war between Denmark and Sweden. Okay, history stuff. Information on the co-captain and a few questions and things like that, and they also provide a video to show you what they did for the featured art, which is lovely. And here's some pictures from Upcrate 12, and that was the acrylic paints. I quite enjoyed those acrylic paints. That was my little bull drawing, and it was nice to do it on wood as well, just for a little change. So yeah, I liked that. That was fun. These are nice as well. These are super pretty. I really like this one. Okay, a history of calligraphy. We have a Sailor of the Month, M Blue sketchbook. Been living in the Canaries since 2006. So again, some information about them and some of their artwork as well, which is really nice. Our new crate, a sturdier crate, is going to reach you every month. I think we kind of already knew about this because we got one of these last month. The quiz, they had this last month as well, so that's some things to keep you entertained, and also the answers to last month's quiz as well. Okay, and last but not least, we have the Upcrate battle. This month's battle topic is I have something to say. Guys, I have got no idea what I'm going to do with this. Like, I really don't. Do I try some calligraphy and just go through the motions for the sake of it, or do I try and do something completely different with them? I think to help me decide that, we'll just test the supplies out very quickly and we can go from there. So you can see we're not off to a great start. The nib has split slightly and it's left me with this very thin line, so it's like a double line. That's not really what you want from a calligraphy pen. And here we've got the teeny tiny one. Now I'm quite curious about this because I've struggled to see that this is actually a chisel nib because it's that weenie. It's weenie. So let's try it out. I don't want to press too hard either. Okay, so that's the thick line. Let's try a thin line. Okay. So the effect is a lot more subtle, obviously, but it's there. And you can, if you use, I've mentioned this before with chisel nibs, but if you go right on what I call on its tiptoe, you can get a really skinny line, like a fine liner line. But again, ink flow is really consistent, quite smooth, quite nice, not a bad pen at all. Let's do the art line permanent markers. I'm going to hold my nose when I do this. These always feel really dry to me. They're not, as far as I'm concerned, they're not really meant to be used on paper. But let's just go a little bit heavy there. So I'm saturating the paper and I can see the ink is sitting on top. Here it's wet. Oh wow, that is pongy. So we're getting a nice variation in the line widths here. That's one advantage of having all these different types of pens. And then we've got the chunky monkey. Oh, look at that bad boy. This feels really dry, and again you can see there's little bits of white showing through the paper. The minute you speed up your hand any amount, then you know it just feels really dry. When you're doing calligraphy, you do tend to do it very sort of slowly and carefully, so I'm assuming that wouldn't be a problem. But that's kind of disappointing because it feels like it's been it's one of these ones that's been used and maybe someone's left the cap off it for a little while. And the edges are rough. Like, yeah, it's just rough. I will let you make your own opinion on that. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Actually, there is nothing. There isn't even a hint of a ghost or anything on the back of that page. And I went to town with that. Right, we'll let it dry and we'll go again just for fun. Let's look at these Pip pens in the meantime. So talking a bit about these are really popular. I've just never really got on well with them. I did have a set of the fine liners which had the black calligraphy pen in it before, and I don't know, I just didn't get on well with them. I didn't really see what all the fuss was about. I mean, they were fine, but they just weren't for me. So I'm quite interested in the colour selection here. So, and as far as chisel nibs go, these are quite dinky. And what are these, a 0? Does it tell you on it? No, it just says calligraphy. Let's see if it says on the box. Nope. But it also says it doesn't bleed through. I really like this colour, this like indanthrine colour. This is right up my street. I like these kind of like cloudy greyish blues. Again, you like lots of variety in line width, which is great for hand lettering. That's quite a nice colour as well. It's a nice earthy tone. As I would expect from Faber-Castell, these feel really nice quality. Now, here's an interesting thing to note. When we look at the black of the Pitt pen, compared to the black here and here, which is the Artline pens, it is a completely different shade, especially next to the permanent marker. Now that's to be expected because they have a different genetic makeup, for want of a better phrase. They have a different composition. There we go. But if I just stick a line of this in here beside the permanent marker and let that dry, this actually looks like a really dark brown. You probably won't be able to see it on the camera, but it's a significantly different shade. And while that's not really a problem, if you're going to blend all these different black pens into one piece, it's going to be blatantly obvious that it's not all part of the same ink. So that's just something to note. You might not want to use the Pitt pen to do your embellishments because it's going to look a completely different colour basically. Let's go on top of here so that we can see what's going on. And again, okay, it's quite wishy-washy. It's not opaque. I dare say we could layer this up though. Now, I kind of like this idea better because I'm really keen on this white on black thing. I've got a wee bit of a fascination with that. So we'll let that dry and we'll see if we can layer that up and actually make it, you know, stand out a little bit and make it look a little bit more opaque. That would be kind of nice. But so far, I mean, I'm impressed with this paper, I really am. It has kind of like started to curl up a bit. Can you see that there? And I don't know whether it's because I've maybe caught it with my hand just when I've been faffing about with it, but I am left-handed and I've been working with it, you know, in this orientation. So I don't know. It did say no warping or buckling or anything, but I don't know. I wasn't paying enough attention there. So that was poor reviewing on my part. Let's just hammer this some more just for fun. Let's face it, I'm not going to use this marker for anything else after this. So yeah, so I mean, much as these are high quality supplies, particularly the Pitt pens, they are high quality supplies. This is something that's really not in my wheelhouse at all. So I'm going to stick these Pitt pens in the stash shop over on the website. Here's the website link here. It will be in a week or so. And that reminds me as well, I do have a large amount of things going up onto the stash shop, courtesy of a lovely lady called Michelle. Hi Michelle, if you're watching. I bulk bought a job lot of art supplies from her, and I'll be using some of it for videos, some I'm keeping for myself, but I'm going to put the rest of it on the stash shop. So throughout December there's going to be a bumper load of art supplies that are second hand but in good condition up for grabs if you're looking to treat yourself for Christmas maybe, or maybe you're looking for a gift, or maybe just because. So you can keep an eye out for that later into December. And I don't think that's going to help it dry, but it makes me feel better. Absolutely zero, nothing at all. So their comment about using both sides of the paper is pretty cool as well, because you actually can. So in theory, if you're not going to tear pages out to give to people or anything, you have 40 sides to draw on. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm impressed by that. That's pretty good. Alright, so this has ended up spilling into the following day, just because life. So we're going to get down to some artwork now that we've tested out all our supplies. And I'm not going to do lettering, and I'm really sorry if that is something that you're disappointed in, but I'm just not. It's just not my thing at all. The prompt is I have something to say, and in the interests of still being outside of my comfort zone, I'm going to do something that I wouldn't normally do, and I'm going to draw a person. And I'm going to try and use the supplies that I've got to the best of my ability, like showing their characteristics. But again, because I'm not going to go with the lettering thing, that's not something that necessarily will happen, but we'll see. I'm perfectly aware that this picture's not going to make any sense to anybody until I get going with it, but you'll see where I'm going with it, hopefully. Kind of scared in case it doesn't turn out as well, just because I don't draw things like this, but that's okay. I say this all the time, you know, especially with these art challenge boxes, this is about learning and pushing yourself to do things that you maybe wouldn't normally do. And I can honestly say, hand on heart, that the majority of things that I draw for these challenges would be far from, you know, what I would consider to be my best efforts, but that's not what it's about. This is going to be quite an angry person because they have something to say. And the reason that they're angry is because someone has taped their mouth up. Now, that was the first thing that struck me, was the red, like a big red cross. Everyone, doesn't matter what language you speak, you know what a big red cross means. So I thought that would be quite appropriate. Okay, in terms of a rough sketch, reasonably happy with that. So now I have to kind of think about colours and stuff. That's what I was thinking for the tape. And then this is going to be for hair. So I'm trying to plan as I go here. I'm not really sure about this little one though. I might have to find a use for that. I might have to give her a collar or something on her shirt. I can use this for highlights, so that's fine. And I might use one of these two for eye colour. I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm thinking that maybe some of this should go in the hair. And I can use this for eye colour, but it is quite a dull blue. Maybe it would be more striking if we had this. And if her hair's black, if the light's reflecting off it, it might give a little bit of a blue tint somewhere. Is a prominent brow still even fashionable? I know it was for quite a while, you know, like, I mean, like prominent eyebrows for women. I know that was like, you know, defined eyebrows was a thing. I think maybe I'm a little bit harsh with the angles here as well. Now I'm going to use the side of this chisel tip. Okay, off to a good start. I'm having to turn the paper a little bit here, but that's just so that I can try and match up my chisel tip lines, if that makes sense. Okay, so what's interesting here is that once I've put the permanent marker down, the pencil lines aren't erasing. So I must have like sealed in the graphite with the ink from the permanent marker. That's quite interesting. Again, permanent marker's not really a thing I use very often, so that's always a lesson to have learned. Right, I'm really not happy about my pupil placement as well, so I'm just going to take away what I've put in pencil there. Now again, I've got my white Pitt pen, so I can add in a little highlight in the eye, because I think it might be quite difficult to leave a highlight just because this is a chisel tip, but I'll try. Oh, that one looks okay. This is whether or not I can get them to match up. I have so much admiration for people that draw human characters, you know. Like, human anatomy is really difficult. I find animal anatomy much easier, and I don't know whether it's just because that's what I know how to do, and obviously it's been a year or two now and I've kind of got used to it, and I wonder if I started studying human anatomy the way I've studied animal anatomy that it might feel the same way, but right now I'm like, no. There's too many complicated moving parts. I do tend to draw mostly quadrupeds as well, and they're pretty similar. See, once you've got that kind of like hind leg, you're good. Everything else is easy. I'm going to edit the crap out of this video as well, because if you were watching me do this in real time, it's painful. It's, you know, I'm very, very deliberate and cautious about what I'm doing. Instant regret, wish I'd gone for the sanguine. I like beads in my hair. It's something I haven't done for a while. I used to have like little wraps with, just with like thread or whatever, and ribbon, and a selection of pony beads. They're the ones with quite big holes in them. And I would always put them in my hair in the summer. And they weren't always like immediately obvious because my hair's really, really thick, and it was quite cool. Just, as something to have in my hair. I haven't done it for a while. Maybe I'm getting too old for that kind of stuff now. So for her fringe, or what is it you guys say? Bangs. I'll use this thinner marker. I'm really going to enjoy the tip of this pen for this because her hair's going to be quite wild. Okay, here we go. This is brave. Wow. See, now this is kind of like my problem with this, is that the marker's not entirely consistent. You know, you can see there's these sort of brush strokes going on, so I'm going to have to kind of like not tread carefully with it, but just be aware. Okay, we'll leave all that to dry. The ink is drying quite quickly, it has to be said. Right, we better give this poor lady a chin. Or maybe it's a guy. I feel it's quite masculine features. Or maybe we're just gender neutral. It does kind of look like a guy though. You know, let's say more masculine features. I think it's the eyebrows as well, to be fair. Today in the cave I've got Jock and Woo, and it's Jock that's got the nylabone. It's normally Pip that you can hear clacking away in the background, but today it's Jock. Trying to get some decent lines here. I am not renowned for, see what I mean? I'm not renowned for my line work. It doesn't help that, and I'm not using this as an excuse, but it's just an annoyance more than anything. It is really, really cold this morning. We were well into minuses last night. When it's like this, my hand is very, very stiff. And I do find that when it's like that, I find it much more difficult to get accurate lines when I'm drawing. Oh, here comes Pip. Hi, Peepee. She's kind of sneaked in there, like, is it okay to come in? Okay, I feel like I've kind of like joined all the hair up now. The more and more I look at this, the more I think it's male. And I'm kind of okay with that, if I'm honest. I was going to do like a kind of shoulder line there, but I've got too much hair in the way. I think I'll just leave that be. And then I'll maybe get like a pony bead on this part. And we'll make that one red, and I can use this little. It is a shame that the smallest nib here was the red one. Can't have it always. Okay, make the rest of this. Hold on, I just wanted to, I know this is drying really quickly, and I have to say for marker paper it's pretty good for that. You know, it doesn't take long, but I'm being like super cautious just in case. I find it half amusing, half annoying that we've got like a bajillion rooms in this house, and when I'm filming, the dogs always want to come in and be noisy in the room that I'm in. I'm like, so I've got this white pen now, and this is really going to come into play in these hair sections, because I'm going to have to kind of like split this all up, because just now it is just like a mass of black ink. And I think I'm going to quite enjoy the fact that it's on the transparent side, and I really kind of use that to my advantage, because if you had like really stark white lines, then it might just look a bit odd. Just get some finishing touches in here. Got our little pony bead down here as well. Maybe try and get a little highlight on that, see how that goes. Oh. Yeah. Entirely not in my normal drawing style. But one thing I do like to do, and I always take advantage of now in these subscription boxes, is use the pencil for some shading. Obviously that's where I'm happiest, with a little pencil, because pencil is easy for me. Marker not so much. So I just want to use this to my advantage, and again, with it being an HB, it's fairly flexible. You can get some nice clean lines with it, and also you can get a wee bit of shading. Now we'll not be able to get much with this paper because there's not much tooth on the paper, you know, there's not much texture, but that doesn't mean that we can't use it to our advantage just a little bit. Now I know a lot of people that are ink users generally would use probably the smaller pens to, you know, to put in some hatching and shade that way, and it's, you know, that's awesome, but I'm just not really that person. There's very few times that I create art with some sort of message or hidden meaning, and I feel like this is one of the ones that could be interpreted, you know, any which way you please. You know, art is meant to be interpreted. I'm not sending a specific message, but if someone wants to draw something from it, draw something. Oh, that was terrible. I didn't even mean that. Then all the better. You can tell already, the fact that I'm chatting as I'm doing this, that I'm much more comfortable because I'm working in pencil. I do like messing about with paint. Paint's one of my favourite things, and I think it's got a much more fun element to it, whereas when I'm in pencil, I feel things are a bit more serious. Okay guys, I think I'm going to call it done at that, and I would say that's turned out fairly well under the circumstances. Again, I always say I have no expectations of myself when I jump into these as quickly, and especially since we are in ink and marker and I'm using things not really for their intended purpose. But yeah, I'm quite impressed with the supplies in terms of quality. The pens are they're just not my thing, and there's nothing wrong with them. They're actually really good pens, but just not for me. I think they could have done better than the Artline markers, to be perfectly honest. I have no objections to be provided things like this in a subscription box, but as I mentioned before, I just feel that the size of the nib is really disproportionate. Even for doing hand lettering, you know, you're going to be kind of pushed for space if you've got a big long word you want in there. But generally they are nice supplies, and I'm really looking forward to seeing all the hand lettering that's going to pop up on social media for the hashtag for the Upcrate battle. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would also love to hear what you are going to do for your Upcrate battle, or if you've already done it. So I want to thank you very much for watching, guys, and I want you to look after each other, stay safe, and I will see you back in the cave on Thursday for another video. So have a good day, everyone, and bye for now.